Have you been thinking about building your own pool? Then this video is specifically for you. In this video, I'll tell you how to inexpensively build a pool right at your country house, about the engineering solutions involved in its construction, and also about the infinity pool. Enjoy watching. Before starting the construction of your own pool, several key questions need to be resolved. First, it's important to determine where it will be located. There are two types of pools. The first is an outdoor pool, located under the open sky, and the second is an indoor pool. The latter type can be part of the house or an extension or pavilion that doesn't adjoin the main building. In this video, I will talk about pools that are located outdoors. Secondly, it's important to choose the type of pool basin. There are options just for bathing. You can build a basin for small children with shallow depth. If you have enough space, you can construct a training pool, either 80 or 160 feet long. These are the standard sizes of a single swimming lane. It's in such pools that professional athletes train. You can also build a deep but small basin. This type is used for diving training. And of course, where would we be without spa treatments? There is a huge number of systems that will allow you to relax after a hard day's work lying in a hot pool right under the open sky. Pure bliss. But I will start with options for athletes. After all, there is one very interesting technology. You will be surprised, but there are real infinity pools in our world. What is this technology, you ask? Actually, it's quite simple. These are devices that create a powerful current inside your pool. This technology has long been used by professional swimmers for intense training, as it allows them to maintain the required pace. And if you're afraid to swim in the sea because of the currents and waves, this option will help you overcome your fears. In an infinity pool, it's very easy to learn to swim from scratch. The beauty of this technology is also in its compactness. You'll only need a pool basin measuring 6 by 12 feet. And most importantly, it's a very safe type of training. This is because the depth in such basins doesn't exceed 5 feet. This is done so that an average person, in case they feel unwell, can easily stand on the bottom and rest. But you will be very surprised when you see how powerful a current in an infinity pool can create. In this video, it shows a professional swimmer undergoing intense training. Just look at the powerful current he's battling. By the way, the world's fastest swimmers can reach speeds of over 8 km per hour. When I watched this video, I was in complete shock. In short, if you want to become an Olympic swimming champion, you definitely need this thing. Next, after deciding on the type of pool, you need to plan its size and the material of its basin. And now I'll tell you about the most popular options. There are several pool construction technologies available on the market. The most popular and well-known way of constructing a pool basin is using concrete. This is the strongest and most reliable option available. You will just need to dig a pit and pour concrete on the floor and walls. Plus, you can create an interesting design for your pool, with round shapes or a cascading floor system. The second option is using composite materials. This term implies the use of fiberglass impregnated with special polymeric resins. This option is much cheaper than constructing a concrete basin and also offers a wide assortment. And the last option is a basin made from a metal frame. This is also a relatively cheap way to build a pool. But in the case of using this technology, there are some limitations. Next, I'll tell you more about each option for constructing a pool basin. Concrete bowls are considered the most durable, but at the same time, they are the most expensive. The technology of their erection is quite simple. To begin with, you need to dig an excavation. It is best to do with the help of a tractor or excavator. But sometimes heavy machinery simply cannot approach the construction site. In this case, you will have to dig the pit manually, which is not very easy. Next comes the creation of a special cushion for the bottom of the future pool. To begin with, you need to pour crushed stone and tamp it down. After that, sand goes into the business. Usually its layer should be 7 to 10 inches thick. Sand is stamped down and on top of it lay a gravel pillow. Its thickness is already 4 inches. But this is not the end of the preparatory stage. Next, it is required to perform reinforcement. You will need special reinforced bars with thickness of 0.2 to 0.3 inches. From them, you need to create a mesh, the cells of which will be about 8 inches in size. The bars can be attached to each other using ordinary wire. It will also be necessary at this stage to immediately lay all the communications for the technical component of your pool. After that comes the stage of pouring concrete. The best option will be to bring a concrete truck filled with a suitable solution for you. This will allow you to perform the pouring at one time. And after you make the bottom of the pool, you need to start doing the foam work and reinforcing the walls. Here the technology is just as simple. The only thing is be careful and firmly fix the foam work, so that it can withstand the mass of concrete. At this stage, the rough work is finished. All that remains is to perform waterproofing. For that, you can use roofing felt, but then it will be difficult to make a perfectly level floor. The ideal option will be the use of liquid glass and special pouring materials that repel water. In this case, all the pores that can be formed in the concrete will be closed. And finally, the most pleasant thing is the finishing of the bowl. You can use a variety of materials such as tiles, but my advice, it is much nicer when the pool is decorated with special rubberized mats. They're very pleasant to the touch and don't fall off, and in addition, very safe. And the tiles in turn can begin to peel off over time due to temperature fluctuations, and also you can easily cut yourself on it. This is roughly what the construction phase of a concrete pool looks like. This is the most expensive yet quality performance option that you can even use on your own. If you decide to save a little money, you can use composite materials. A ready-made pool with their use will be cheaper than in the case of using concrete. Yes, and there are many variants of shapes and sizes on the market. The technology of their use is a little easier than in the previous case. You will need to dig a pit and then place the pool bowl in it, which is either solid or collapsible. The only difficulty you may encounter is the engineering, as you will need to drill holes, and you cannot make a mistake here. The last option for pool bowls is a metal frame. Again, an excavation will be required, but here it has special requirements. The whole bowl will be built on a kind of frame, because of which you will need to make rigid stops for the legs of your pool. This option is very cheap, because if you use it, you can make the walls and bottom of the pool, for example, from film. A frame pool is great for those who want to save a lot of money. Next, I'd like to talk to you about what kind of purification facilities are available and what the cheapest and best options are. The cheapest and most popular way to purify water is by using a skimmer. You ask me, what is this? And I will answer you. It is a special device with the help of which dirt is removed from the top layer of water. But one skimmer cannot cope with the cleaning of the entire pool. Together with it, it is required to install the bottom drain. It should be located at the deepest part of your bowl. The water level using this technology will be 4 to 8 inches below the floor. But skimmer and bottom drain is the cheapest way to clean your pool of debris. The second option, already more expensive but at the same time more beautiful, overflow mechanism. When using it, the water is at a level with the floor. The appearance of such pools is simply amazing, especially outdoors. Imagine you will bathe under the open sky looking at the stars that are reflected in the water. A beautiful view of a country house and a beautiful garden, and all this in a lovely clean pool. And clean it will be, because the overflow mechanism is much better to clean the pool from all kinds of dirt. It's true that it costs 1.5 to 2 times more expensive. And lastly, I'll tell you a life hack. Do not locate the pool near bushes and small trees. All the leaves and bugs from them will fall into the water. Also, beware of huge trees. They can damage the walls of the pool bowl with their root system and even put a hole in it. Next, I will tell you how to sanitize the water in your pool. The most popular method is using bleach. The fact is that this method of disinfection is the cheapest, but it will not suit allergy sufferers, as chlorine is the strongest catalyst for allergic reactions. In case you suffer from such an ailment, you may be suitable for another method of disinfection, oxygen disinfection. In the case of this technology, you will not suffer from allergic reactions. Such water is absolutely safe for everyone. In addition, this method is relatively inexpensive. It is still possible to saturate the water with silver and copper. This is already one of the most expensive options. But in addition to disinfecting the water in the pool, you give it excellent qualities. True, you will need to monitor its acidity. Using copper and silver water disinfection devices can seriously alter the acidity of the water, which is not very good for humans. One last option is to use salt water. In this case, you can use an electrolyzer for water disinfection. True, it produces chlorine in its work, because of which allergic reactions may occur. But in my experience, I can tell you that in pools with salt water, the concentration of chlorine is much lower. Because of this, allergy sufferers feel much better after swimming than in the case of chlorinated water. And most importantly, at this stage you should think about the heating system of the pool. Since it will be located outdoors, it will be problematic to use it in winter. You should think about buying expensive systems that can maintain water temperature up to plus 104 degrees Fahrenheit even in freezing temperatures. But if you don't want to use the pool in the winter, the usual heating system will do. In this case, before every frost, you will have to drain the water, preserve the bowl, and carefully monitor the equipment. Well, we have sorted out with you all the technical aspects. Now it's time to talk about the most interesting. Almost everyone wants individuality in their swimming pool, but there are some important aspects to consider before deciding on its appearance. The first is that using slippery material such as tile is not a good idea. It is better to use rubberized mats or special film, so you are less likely to fall into the water or just slip. Second, not the best solution will be to create a bowl and walls of rounded shape. In this case, the walls of the pool will be very slippery, and a rounded bowl is not the most practical, as you will have to spend extra money to create it. Third, think about what kind of borders you will use. The wood you will walk on will look very nice, but in conditions of constant humidity, the boards will quickly come into disrepair. The most practical option will be to use mats that you will walk on, but they're not particularly pretty. You can also use anti-slip tiles. This option is both beautiful and at the same time safe and durable. Last but not least, you need to create a suitable infrastructure for the use of the pool. Namely, you will need to build changing rooms, showers, and restrooms. All this can be placed in the house in case it is located near the pool itself. But if this is not the case, an excellent solution will be to build a bathhouse nearby. In it, you can place all the engineering, restrooms, and locker rooms, and at the same time, after the steam room, you can always plunge into the cool water of the pool. But if you cannot build a separate building and the house is far away, you can put small changing rooms right by the pool, as well as small shower stalls. They do not necessarily need to be built in the building. Take for example the usual Dutch summer shower, or for example beach showers. All of them are in the fresh air and simply close the view, so that you are not peeped at. The water used is the same as in the house. It allows you not to think of its conduct. Well, finally, it is worth thinking about a sitting area right next to the pool. It is best to make a special well-maintained platform. For it, you can use a lawn, because of which the appearance will be just awesome. Or you can lay out a floor of tiles. On it, it is worth placing sun umbrellas, as well as deck chairs. Imagine, on a hot summer day, you go after a bath, jump into the pool, and then lie down on a chaise lounge. Just amazing, isn't it? In this video, we broke down how to build a pool on your home site, how to landscape it, and the cheapest way to do it. Thanks for watching.